Hi.
Are you my waiter? I want the excellent dish I had at the governor's mansion last week. I don't know what it's called, but it was sort of, a hot food.
Yeah, but I'm not...
It had ingredients in it or something.
I'm not your waiter.
I already told your incompetent cook this, but he still hasn't brought me my dinner.
I don't work here. I'm not a waiter.
Hop to it!
Right away, sir. Fancy. You look like the health inspector tasted your stew. Or you did.
Worse. Marlin is here.
Who?
The customer I have nightmares about. He's the only importer of yak fat on the island, so I need to keep him happy, but he makes that impossible. Today he wants me to make him a dish that he ate last week at some kind of event at the governor's mansion. But of course he doesn't remember what it's called or know what's in it or even remember what color it was. He says he thinks it has ingredients in it. I don't have the slightest idea what to make.
Oh, where did he say he had the dish he wants you to make?
At the governor's mansion. It's probably some exotic, weird-tasting thing from a swanky cookbook.
If I brought you a recipe, could you make it?
Of course. I'm a cook. See the hat?
Oh, look behind you! A three-headed monkey!
I do know a great stew recipe for monkey heads, but I can't think about that right now.
I'll see what I can find out.
Thanks.
They're having a half-off sale. I've come for a recipe. A dish you served at a recent function. It's been described as hot and having ingredients in it. Ring any bells?
I do host plenty of functions, but I'm afraid I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
I don't really have anything to say. I just like doing this.
Practice is nice, but I'm busy these days. Governor stuff.
Can I borrow a book?
You never brought back the last book you borrowed. You never even apologized.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm hearing the words, but somehow they aren't helping. I need more than that.
The note says, "Forced to close. Thanks for the memories, but cash would have been better." Employees only. It seems to be stuck closed. Aww, this is where I risked my neck for Elaine, and she showed me she only needed me to risk my heart. Also, the windows need some work. Aww. This is where I risked my neck for Elaine, and she showed me she only needed me to risk my heart. Also, the windows need some work. Oh, I used to love these when I was 6. Until I got trapped in one for 2 days. I think they're illegal now.
Hi there. Welcome to the Melee Island Museum of Pirate Lore. I'm Conrad, the curator and docent here. I also edit the Pirate Times newsletter. Here, take my business card.
Thanks?
The museum showcases the largest collection of pirate memorabilia in the Caribbean. Or on Melee Island at the very least. The provenance of each item has been very carefully researched and fact-checked by myself and my team. Feel free to explore. And if you have any questions, just ask.
That map looks familiar.
That's 1/4 of the original map to the treasure of Big Whoop. I got it from the cartographer on Low Street. Apparently, he was somehow involved in the search for Big Whoop.
About all Wally managed to do was get kidnapped by LeChuck's henchmen.
That's not the way he tells it.
I'm just trying to help.
Thanks. I've got it under control.
Why do you have this big gear?
It's from the Melee Clock Tower, stolen during a pirate raid nearly 75 years ago. It was recently found at an inn on St. Martin, where it was being used to mill corn. I traded some old furniture for it that we had in the back room.
Has anyone thought about putting it back in the clock?
Nah. If the clock started working, it would only confuse people.
How on earth do you have that note?
Oh yeah, that's very interesting. That was found tucked inside of a book at the Fat Island Library. It's the actual note left by the ghost pirate LeChuck when he kidnapped Governor Marley.
I know what it is. The lookout handed it to me just before I finished my 3 trials. I was crushed, but undaunted. I gathered a crew and I sailed to Monkey Island to save her. Not that she needed it, as it turned out.
Wow, man, you're really into this. I've got a role-playing group on Thursday nights.
You don't believe me?
It's not a question of belief.
Never mind. It's not important. What's the story with the wanted poster?
That is the earliest known wanted poster for Captain Kate Capsize. You can tell how notorious she was by the huge number of crimes listed there. Very impressive. I got it from a collector on Fat Island.
Those are my own crimes, actually. I was pretty much public enemy number 1 on Fat Island at the time. I stuck Kate's picture on there so she'd get thrown in jail.
That would never work. Nobody's that clueless in real life.
I'm telling you the truth.
I'm sure you are, but it just doesn't quite square with the official record. So it's hard to substantiate.
Substantiate? You've got an eyewitness.
Eyewitnesses are notoriously inaccurate. Human memory is plastic and suggestible.
Not yours, apparently.
No, of course not. I deal in facts.
That is a really big parrot. Wonder how many hands it's eaten. What do you feed it?
Thieves, mostly.
Good to know. It's a working parrot. I shouldn't bother it. What's the significance of the peg leg?
That belonged to the infamous Peg Leg Patty. She used to hide a spare cutlass in it, in case of capture. Sadly, that's the reason she's no longer with us.
That's a nice oar.
The one with the coffin, yeah. The coffin had a lot of water damage when I got it from the voodoo lady in town. But I managed to restore it. It was used by a certain well-known captain in a daring escape from a Turkish prison.
The water damage is actually from the swamp on Scab Island.
Unlikely. The prison in question is nowhere near Scab Island.
You should think about hiring a research assistant.
Oh, I did. Unpaid, of course. Intern.
Tell me again about the coffin?
It was used by a certain well-known captain in a daring escape from a Turkish prison.
Tell me about this hunk of wood.
That's an original plank from the Golden Hind, autographed by Francis Drake himself.
Is this a left hook or a right hook?
That once belonged to the dread pirate Meat Hook. Supposedly he was ambidextrous. Also, he used to live right here, on Melee.
What can you tell me about this eye patch?
That's the pride of the collection. It belonged to Captain John Laney, the pirate of 1,000 faces. Supposedly, it had voodoo powers that would disguise him. I tried it on though, and nothing happened.
Eye patch worn by Captain John Laney, the pirate of 1,000 faces. It's cracker mix. Some assembly required.
Hi there.
Hi there. I found some cracker mix. You could bake fresh crackers in your furnace.
Thanks. The ones on the plate were getting a bit stale. Take some if you want.
Don't mind if I do.